In 2000, the world as we know it changed. The world of work, the world of school, our relationships. People are used to communicating in person, and all of a sudden, overnight, you're communicating in these little boxes where you may or may not see people's faces. It was very strange. Now, some of us have thrived in that environment, but a lot of people find that to be disconnecting and uncomfortable. And what I hear from people most is, I need to be in person, which makes perfect sense to me. Because personally, if I had surgery and my surgeon was coming to me via the internet, I would be a little uncomfortable. No. But the thing that I hear second most often, and the one that gets me, is I can't be online. I have to be in person because I can't be engaged, I can't be connected, I can't create engagement online. And that I'm going to dispute. Because doing that is how I make a living. So what I have to recognize is that I have two pretty notable advantages over that person. And the first is, I started earlier. I'm a technical trainer. I was technical training for 20 years, and I had to move from in-person to online and back and forth over and over again for years. But everyone else had to suddenly do it overnight. So that's one advantage. But the other advantage is the reason I'm here today. And that's because all of this, the in-person, completely physical, face-to-face space, the mixed and the fully remote, all of this is your hybrid world. All of this is your open canvas. And it's something that you can transition from easily if you think like an artist. What? Do I have to learn how to draw? No. Let's talk about art. I want you to come into my house, up to the second floor, and into the spare bedroom we've turned into a studio. And you will notice two very different personalities at work. In my family, we're all artistic. My son works in pencils, and he's really good at drawing. My husband is an oil painter who makes really good still lifes. Me, I dabble. So on the left-hand side of the room, what you see is my drafting table, and paints, and oils, and pigments, and all sorts of weird little devices, and some clay, and a Kermit the Frog puppet for some reason. I still don't know why I put that there. And what's created in this space, honestly, is good intentions and a fine layer of dust. But on the right-hand side of the room, that's an actively used studio. And you'll see my husband's easel and meticulously stretched canvases and panels. So I want you to imagine the look on David's face, my husband's face, if he walked into that room and I had tossed out the canvases and I tossed out the panels and said, well, you're making art, right? Here's a table and here's some canvas from the fabric store. Make art. I have a feeling his reaction would be, are you insane? Kirsten, that's not how any of this works. And then I would get a long and very accurate and very detailed talk about the history of oil painting. And he'd be 100% right. Because oil painting is an art of manipulating time. Drying oils take different amounts of time to fully cure and stabilize. A painting can take months or even years to be completely stable, which means if the surface gets moved, it'll crack and the painting will be ruined. So he's right, that's not going to work. And what happened in person is that people went from face-to-face conversations to online conversations, and they had the same disconnect. Because with David, I took away his structure. I took away the stretcher bars. I took away the panels, the structure he needed to do his work. Well, in face-to-face, what do we have? If you have vision, you see the body. You see body language. You see whether if someone's relaxed or relaxed. You see whether or not a person's flushed, if their eyes are dilating, if they're breathing quickly. You see if their hands are moving too extremely, too jittery. All of that communicates to you in ways we don't even think about. And if you have hearing, well then, beyond language, you have tone. You have inflection. You have, is the voice fast or slow? Is it higher? Is it lower? All of that communication is something we take for granted. We don't even notice. And a lot of that is lost in the online space. And some of it is repositioned into places we're not used to. So how do we solve this? Well, you think like an artist. What if instead of giving this piece of canvas, I had instead taken that table and put a laptop there, and a drawing tablet and a stylus, and software that shows how you can paint and says, here, this is a different surface, this is a different medium, oils, gouache, whatever. It'll simulate that. And the most important part, gave him time to learn that, well, I'm creating light and shape here. So I need this brush and that paint, and I'm gonna move my hand this way on the canvas. So here, I take the stylus and the drawing tablet, and I open that menu, and I move that slider, and I move my hand this way on the tablet. Okay. Do you get exactly the same result? No. But are they both art? Yes. He creates art digitally. He creates art physically. These are the mediums. They're not the art. And that's the problem when people are hesitating to go online and say they can't create connection. They're missing that it's not the art, it's the medium. So instead, I want to introduce you to the medium of online presenting. Okay, everybody, what we're going to do right now is, I know you've got the hand gesture down at the bottom, you got the little hand symbol. What that's going to do when you click that is let me know you can unmute so we can talk. And right now, yes, everybody but me is muted because I don't need to hear your dogs barking. Sorry. However, I do want to hear from you. So in the chat pod, can you all tell me where you're coming in from today? Just go ahead and, excellent, people are doing it already. Tony, Sydney, Australia? Dude, what time is it there? Okay, Houston, okay, perfect. San Diego, California, oh, Hartford, Connecticut. Oh, honey, I feel you. Okay, now, I'm rocking the coffee this morning. Tell me what you're drinking. Tell me, come on, in the chat. Okay, coffee. No, you do not have to drink coffee. I will drink yours. Wait, tea, good. Mia, what? Okay, you guys keep going. I'm going to just look. Oh, my Lord. I'm going to put this in the chat. Can everybody click that link, please, and open that up in the browser? When did Pepsi do mango? What the hell? And honestly, Christmas Pepsi, is that a thing? That's exactly what I did in a webinar. I spent a couple of minutes getting people to communicate and seeing who was there and making sure they could hear me and making sure I could hear them. And then we transitioned into the material itself. I put them in breakout rooms, I had them unmute and talk to me verbally, but they were heard because they're the point. It's the medium, not the art. So what is the art? The art is your vision. The art is your passion, the reason you're there. So what are you creating? Are you an educator? Are you working? Are you healing? Are you just connecting? What are you doing? That's your vision. And then from that, you create your objectives, and from that, you create goals. And those goals are what you have to achieve with your medium. And you look at your medium and figure out different ways to achieve your goals, yeah? So all of this is to tell you that You absolutely can play in this entire space. This is your open canvas. And once you have your vision, and once you have the details, the goals you want to hit, and you know the mediums and the results you can achieve, then in the morning when you wake up, you only ever have to ask yourself one simple question. In this open canvas, what am I going to create today?